Question for Tyler specifically about the have and have not. Benny's up from the coma, and we were curious about, well, I was, and some of the readership, about the relationship between he and Quincy. It seems like your character is the only one that's going to be chasing after Quincy. Well, you would think, because there's a lot of hinting around the crier. We know the criers and the Candace dynamic that's going on, but Quincy's been running around sexually assaulting characters on the show.
My family, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. The only character that has a clue as to the backstory between he and Candace, the lost baby. So I wanted to know if there were two parts. Are there any teasers you could lend to what's going to happen for that storyline? Yeah. And how do you feel personally, or any actor tips you could share about working with that dynamic? He's a good actor too.
Yeah, Medina's a great actor. This is real name. But you know what? In short, to answer the first part, Quincy's going to get dealt with, right? There's no way around it. I mean, I think for me, a little bit of your second part, how I feel about being in a dynamic like that. You know, I'm an only child, so my parents delivered me 27 years ago, and not to be disrespectful at all, not to call them my children, but it's almost like I'm delivering them now, right? I'm almost like kind of their caretaker. I'm the protector, if you will. Alpha male patriarch type. Troy and Fences type, if you guys read August Wilson. Walter, Raisin and Son, if you read August Wilson, you know what I mean? Or that's actually Lorraine. Right, exactly. But it's like, you know what? You got someone that's running around terrorizing your family. You're talking about the women in your life. I mean, what does that say if I control these people? What does that say about their leader? Where's their leader at? I mean, I'm getting disrespected all over the place. And like, I definitely heard this whole, you know, you guys are gonna see a new layer of Benny. And one thing I heard was almost like, oh, well, Benny a thug now. And like Benny's overbearing. No, Benny's the man of this house, and I'm going to restore some order here. You know what I mean? And that's the way. Well, that's the way it goes down in real life, at least for my family, and the way I do this. You know what I mean? So for sure, y'all gonna see that this year. Yeah.
Word up, son.
Okay, we have a question back here in the suit.
This is for you, Tyler. It's good to see that you out of coma. Yes, Jesus is real.
Thank God, I got a job again. You guys.
It's real good, and I do appreciate what you said in regards to you being the alpha male of the house, because that's what television is really missing now. Is that positive male influence. But since you mentioned somebody about, you know, shot, with JR being shot, who got shot? You know, there was a gun that went off.
Well, y'all gonna have to watch to find that out. I need to keep my job. I just got it back.
Okay.
But I mean,
spoiler.
Someone in the cast.
Yeah, someone on the show.
Someone on the show is dead.
Somebody running around out with a gun.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. Let's use. I mean, come on, it can't be. Well, I mean, should I tell him?
Oh, you can't tell him who it is. No,
You about to make
Let me just tell him. All right, I'm gonna tell you. All right, so check it out. No?
You can't tell him.
All right, I can't tell you. I wanted to give it to you, bro. I wanted to give it, but they won't let me. I'm sorry.
We gonna get fired by default.
Right. We were in the same room.
Yeah. Just because we was here. Okay, we have a question right here for Ray. Right here, yeah.
I wanted to know, how have your professional lives as actors changed since the show? Are you getting other offers outside of what you're doing right now? More people that may have said, we'll wait on you, but now that, you know, Oprah's behind you and the show is the bomb, are you getting those phone calls that you didn't get before?
I know, Tyler, you got mobbed at Essence.
Oh. He was on the Sexy Man panel. I didn't hear about it at the music festival, so it's kind of fun.
That's what I heard.
I'm getting a lot more landscaping costumes. I only cut their grass. I don't understand. Walmart is my spot. I get a photo shoots at Walmart. Every night I go there. I try to go like 2 in the morning thinking I'm sneaking in there. That's a lie. I end up, you know, but I get a lot of free product. Yeah. I don't print that because I'm gonna mess up my hookup. I'm thinking that Walmart's gonna fire somebody. On that particular one.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, Bronner Brothers. That was crazy. I walked through Bronner Brothers. A hair show. Imagine that, me in a hair show. That was very, very fun, and just the trying to get out of there was really interesting because I didn't think that I was that recognizable, but I guess, you know, because of the prevalence of the show being all over the place, and then with the House of Pain being the predecessor to that, and working right into this, and then going into a hit show with all of these, you know, wonderful actresses and actors, it's people know who you are now. it can be bittersweet. Now this one here, of course, she can be disguised, and because you see, she's a much lovelier person than what you see on the screen.
Yeah, I used to be disguised.
You're not anymore?
To answer your question, no. Now, and I've always hid behind the character, even for interviews. Keep me in the back. But now, I mean, when I'm anywhere, Walmart, wherever, they can't really, say that's my hat. But
It's this
they
look right
nudge
here.
and
It's this
and
look
then
right
somebody,
here.
you get this crazy. So yeah, it's not as easy. As for work, it's always been a good season for me, since I've started. So, and because that's my own character, I've always worked it. It has picked up, to answer your question.
Well, let me answer it like this, because I think maybe.
We were talking.
And I was not talking while you were answering the question.
You're so pretty today.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, Ray. No, but to that end, we were all Darmira, who plays Drew, Patrice, and myself. We're in Puerto Rico.
They get to take those.
Anyway, in Puerto Rico, that's because we chose not to buy a lawnmower. Let's go on vacation. And we were like in the lobby of the hotel we were in Puerto Rico, and we're like, oh my gosh, like people were just like, they knew, and they were coming over and buying us drinks and water.
Kendra gives us away every time. I could get away, but Kendra gives us away every time. So when they see her, then they automatically
Well, they
know.
connect the dot. Yeah, they connected.
Yeah.
Plus, you're loud.
Anyway, but I
Only woman I know with surround sound in her throat.
see, now you know that those lines were not scripted, but ad-libbed. Anywho, Ray, I have had the opportunity to get some, my manager will call me and I'll have, auditions or be called in for stuff that people, there were a couple things in particular that clearly I didn't get because they already came on, but where they called because they saw the show, like they didn't receive a submission for my representation or whatever, but they had seen me on the show and wanted to see me for other opportunities based on that. And then other things have been scheduling conflicts that I haven't done or whatever, but there have been opportunities, and I feel like since the first day, I feel like I've just been busy. Like, of course you always want to work more, but I feel like I have been just working back and forth between here and LA and stuff. So it's definitely opened up new doors, and I'm grateful to Mr. Perry and Miss Winfrey.
Plus, we will always be available for that show. If anything else, the show that you're on. Yeah, we want to be available for that show. Yeah, because it's like, it's not easy, but it's easy because you know what this one's gonna do, you know what this one's gonna do, you know what ticks her off, and you kind of get away from it. Or like if you just feeling some type of way, you might
go directly
take them off to them anyway, but then it's just all love at the same time, because I actually love these women, and they're actually helping to provide for my families as well as their own. You don't see the helping of the family in Alabama. You don't see mommy paying for tuition at Spelman. You don't see all that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why this is important to us, because we have to maintain a lifestyle to take care of the ones that you don't see. It's a beautiful thing to be able to take care of our parents, because now we've gotten to the ages where, you get to an age where you end up having to take care of your own parents. Unfortunately, mine have gone on to glory, but at the same time, I'm at an age now where it's like I actually have younger children, so I have to work because them little Negroes like to eat every day. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get them to fast. Anyway, but